The amount of kind self-talk that I give myself all day, it is really something.
Cool. On this episode of Art of the Short, Lil Shorty, Jori&Bethers read to you a story of disillusioned love, where heartbreak is left in a letter, and the truth always finds its way to the light.
We'd like to remind you that all episodes of Art of the Short contain explicit content and that a link to this week's short story will be provided in the show notes just for you.
Art of the Short is an interactive literary art installation. Our Lil Shorty episodes feature the not-so-known storytellers, where Jori&Bethers read a short story by you, and, of course, we'll make art of our interpretations.
Join the conversation, send us your artwork, we'll add it to the gallery at artoftheshort.com, and you can follow the installation on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Art of the Short to see what others think of this short story through their art.
BDP.
Jory. That was chopped
We're gonna
and
have to
screwed.
remix that.
Hey, welcome to Lil Shorty, friend.
Welcome.
Are you excited?
Yeah, of course.
Did you make some art?
I made some art. I got a little deep on this one, so be prepared.
Oh, did you?
I did. I think I'm still just I'm super excited about just being able to read the not-so-known authors and get to make art for them. I think I still get excited about it. So I went with it. How about you?
Oh, I did something that I think is going to be a real delight.
Oh, good.
I delighted my own self. It's definitely
Okay.
going to delight you. And I hope it delights the readers. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my hope for this one.
This week's short story is by American writer Cheryl Pappas, whose poetry, fiction, and nonfiction have been published in the likes of Juked, The Chattahoochee Review, Hobart, and more. She also heads Hermit Crab, a super cool flash fiction workshop online. If you'd like to know more about Cheryl and her work, you can find what you're looking for at cherylpappas.net. Featured on Flash Frog, this is Room Number 5, Albergo Dolce Vita, Florence, Italy, by Cheryl Pappas.
The flowers by the window have faded to dusty brown. Your letter sits on my desk, read 1,000 times. The roses lasted the longest. The sun in the afternoon hits the wall next to the bed, so the whole room burns yellow. It's so bright I can almost hear it. It's like when we lay on that same bed at 3 or 4, when I studied the light that fell on your shoulder, your arm, your hair. It is like that, but it is not. I have walked around this tiny room for days. I know the shapes of shadows that creep up the oak table toward the amber vase. It is a study of despair. The streetlights come on at 5. I don't go out. I read by the little lantern. I noticed there is a tear in the wallpaper up near the window. Underneath, I spy carousels and fine ladies walking with parasols. You have your work, I know. You love me, I know you do. It's cold and the streets have emptied. It's just cobblestone cleaners now and occasional Americans. I feel mad. Am I mad? I wonder. I don't go out. I miss the warmth of your body in this bed, its wholeness. I miss life. You may find only a crumpled piece of paper when you get back. Write to me soon. March is another world away. Do you think the ladies are happy? She said to him in their tiny bed. The bright light against the yellow wall had woken her. It must have been at least 3 o'clock. What ladies? His eyes were still closed. His breath smelled of stale rum. The last bar of the night had involved dancing on tables. The ladies in the wallpaper next to the window with the umbrellas. Walking along the river, they seem to be ruminating. They're called parasols, and I think you're still drunk. My question is, why is that the only section of the wall that has that paper? This place is charming, but it's a bit weird. Maybe they're sharing stories about the wild romps they had the night before. You mean like you? No, they look much more proper. You'd be bored with a proper girl. And I'd be bored if you were proper too. Hence, you. She kissed him, laughing. Later, she sat at the creaky oak desk and wrote a postcard with the Duomo to her parents. We're having a dream of a honeymoon. I am alone at last, she whispered to the room in the late afternoon. She opened the gauze curtains and an abundance of light poured in. It set fire to the little red rug, lit up the corner of the old oak desk, and shined brightest of all on the yellow wall next to the bed. She stood, caught in the amber. I'm a trapped fly, she laughed. She stepped into the shadow. No, I am chiaroscuro, she said, smiling. It had taken her so long to get here. As she walked across the room, she remembered something just at the edge of her consciousness. She stopped, waiting. She turned to the wall and noticed the wallpaper was different in that corner to the right of the window. Ladies pranced about in their parasols on the riverway, and colorful carousels held their sweet-faced children captive. She got a strange feeling in her chest, like fear or nervousness. Down where the floor meets the wall was a small flap of the canary yellow wallpaper over the print. It looked like it had been torn. She pulled at it, and a scrap of very old, fragile paper fell out from underneath. She sat on the floor. In faded ink, it read, I can't return, my love. She held the piece of paper in her palm, a breath. The light just then burned against the wall, so bright she could almost hear it. A voice. She leaned in to listen.
Art of the short, art of the short, art of the short, little shorty.
Little shorties.
It sounds so inappropriate after like a sad little tale, but oh, she brought us right back down.
Your face, I was dying to see your face.
I feel like, okay, let me just describe this first before I am about to say what I want to say, but we are kind of both on the same page on our art. I just have to say this. You'll get why in a minute.
Okay.
So I have a very old piece of paper with the words, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me, written on them.
Listener, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Is that the Sex and the City?
Yeah, dude.
Post-it? Okay.
It's the Jack Burger. She was dating a fellow artist. She was dating someone who was also a writer like her, but she had great success at the moment that they met, and he was not grown enough to be able to celebrate her success. She comes home. There's a Post-it on a big vase of flowers, and it just says, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me. And she hits it. She backhands the vase, and it's like this dramatic final scene, and the flower and the waters go everywhere.
Epic.
Yeah. Epic.
Oh, so that's what this story made you think of?
Yeah. I just felt like this was a more romantic Italian version. Because she got the note. She got a note.
Yeah.
I can't return my love. That's the same. It's the same note. And at least my interpretation was people be getting these notes, and it is unpleasant every time. Whichever way you deal it, you don't want to get the note. Nobody wants the note.
Why leave a note, too? It's so rude.
It's so rude.
My art is a little bit related, I suppose.
Okay. Should I look?
Yeah.
Dear listener, I'm seeing kind of a mirror image going here. It's a vase of flowers, tulips, and daisies and lavender. In one iteration, they're in bloom, and in one, they're kind of dying, I think.
The tulips are actually my version of roses, but that's okay.
Okay, got it.
I don't know how to draw roses. They do look like tulips.
That's so funny because I considered putting roses in the backdrop of my piece, and then I said, I'm not up for it. I'm not
Too
up
hard.
for it.
No.
And so then Jori's joined the bases of the vases such that it kind of looks like a snowflake or
Yeah.
something like this. And it's really, 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 really pretty.
Okay.
And then in the next image, she made like a tessellation of it. Like she like duplicated it. So it's like a print kind of.
Exactly.
Okay. Like a wallpaper.
That's exactly what I made.
I just got it. Okay, got it.
I made like some wallpaper, which kind of goes with your like little note, thinking the note was stuck on the wallpaper. So we are the yin to the yang of each other. The story made me think of like how you can give like life or death to like all of these narratives that you make up in your own head when you don't have the answer to something, especially when you feel so passionately about the topic. So to me, the flowers, like the story, represent kind of the life and death of the relationship, but also like the idea that as people, the way in which we can like breathe life into like a falsehood and then equally just like take it away, all with like the power of our own minds, like even just like sitting in your house.
Totally.
And you can go from like within hours feeling the deepest of despair to like
the end of the world,
to like happy and like, oh, I'm going to write my parents this letter and everything's great. And I can't wait for him to get back from wherever he is. And she finds the letter and that's the actual truth of it.
Yep.
So I made the life and death of kind of like the thoughts basically. And then made it into a wallpaper so that it's like,
I love it.
That is, we made our own little wallpaper for the
really
story.
Pretty. Yeah, it's really pretty. I like it very much.
Thanks.
Cheryl, again, really enjoyed that.
I did too.
You really took me to a time and a place, created a mood. I loved hearing about the light, different plays of light. And
I did too.
Any good feminist literature is going to reference yellow wallpaper in one way or another.
I thought that too.
So I feel like that's just a classic. It's like, we got to do it. We got to do it. And she did it. And I always appreciate that. So great job, Cheryl. And thank you.
I know. Thank you so much.
Cheers, little shorties.
Cheers to the little shorty. That was offensive to a lot of people.
On the next episode of Art of the Short, we'll be reading The Beach Boy by Otessa Moshfegh. As always, a free link to this short story is in our show notes for you.
We want to see your art and hear your thoughts about these short stories. So please join the conversation and send us your artwork at artoftheshort.com. And follow The Installation on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Art of the Short. Bye, B.
Okay, bye. I burned my finger. There was a weird vibe. It wasn't a bad vibe, but it was very ghosty. We'd like to remind you...